Everyone, this is Ocean Love coming to you again from Universal Love Therapies, and today we're going to be talking about some tips on how to handle anger. Let me just start off by saying that I am a holistic life coach, and you can visit me at www.universallovetherapies.com, or you can go to www.universallovetherapies.blogspot.com, and that's where I do most of my blogs. So again, today we're going to be talking about some keys to handling anger, tips on how to handle anger. And let me just start off by saying first and foremost that anger is not a negative thing. Anger is just an emotion put in place to let us know that something is wrong. It is there to help us to resolve an issue and not just to utilize the feeling that we're feeling when the anger emotion comes up in us. We don't want to look at anger as something that we don't want to have. Anger is very healthy. It's just the way that you utilize it that determines whether it's healthy for you or not. I would in no way tell you what to do. These are no way etched in stone for you. However, if you want to get to resolve conflict, and if you really want to get to the end result, which is resolving the issue, then these keys are something that will help you out very well. The first one is don't be easily offended. That's the first one. The reason being is because a lot of times people are offended for whatever reason, and we have to realize that everything is not about us. We might come into the room and say hello, someone doesn't speak back, they might not have heard us. Everything's not about you. So resist the urge to just become easily offended at something someone did or said to you. Kind of take a step back, take a couple minutes and say, okay, what was the intent here? And then that'll stop you from feeling those emotions of anger, taking offense when none was intended. The second one is very easy. It's refuse to keep thinking about the injustice. A lot of times when someone angers us or do something that offends us or makes us sad, disappoints us, we keep replaying the event in our mind over and over and over again. I am here to tell you that that does nothing for you except keep you in the deep, dark place that you were at when the event or the injustice happened to you. So don't keep thinking about it. Release the offense. It only affects you in the long run. In order to forgive the person, you have to release them. And in order to release them, you can't keep thinking about what they did. Don't hang on to it. The third one is don't tantrum. Punching a wall, kicking the dog, making a scene, raising your voice, all of these things, yelling, screaming, none of that does anything for you. If anything, it just shows that you lack self-control. It's okay to feel the feelings of anger. However, it's not okay to hurt an innocent bystander in the process or to release your anger in a way that's not productive. You need to have control over your emotions, and that shows that you don't have control over them. They kind of just go haywire and they go wherever your emotional state leads them. Find someone else to unleash the negative energy. Take a walk, take a run, ride a bike, whatever, but don't unleash it on an unsuspecting victim. The next one is deal with each angry incident as it happens. As human beings, we're creatures of habit. And what that means is we have a tendency of handling things the same way every time. So when I get feelings of anger, I might have a tendency to withdraw or walk away or to get really quiet or to pout or whatever my personal thing is. Someone else may have the tendency to yell, kick, scream, make a scene, do whatever. Whatever it is, treat each angry incident as it happens. Maybe in this situation you need to do A, B, and C, but in the next situation you might need to do C, D, and E. Whatever the case is, but don't make everything a cookie cutter stamp situation. You need to deal with each angry incident as it happens, deal with it differently, and deal with the issue the way that it can be resolved. Don't respond the same way if someone gossips about you or if someone vandalizes your property. Those are two distinctly different situations, and they deserve two distinctly different responses. The fifth one is resist the urge for revenge. I know revenge feels good, it sounds good. When someone does something to you, it gives you no greater pleasure than to do something back to them or get back at them or do something that hurts them as badly as they hurt you. I'm here to tell you that gets you nowhere. And as a matter of fact, it's not a spiritual response, it's an egotistical response. Exercise compassion and recognize that hurting people hurt others. So if you take a step back, take yourself out of your shoes and put yourself in the shoes that they're in, you might actually find that you would respond or react in the same exact way that they did. So number 5 is just resist the urge for revenge. Number 6, determine not to raise your voice. Fire begets more fire. You do not want to feed fire with fire. So don't raise your voice or yell in a situation. Newsflash, they can hear you. You yelling is only escalating the situation and taking it from point A to point Z, when really it can stay right where it's at. We need to leave it at that level field, have calm voices when we're talking to one another, have respect for the other person, even though you're telling them your feelings of anger. Don't unleash on them. Don't unlash at them. Just sit there and talk like two civilized adults. I won't let my 11-year-old get away with raising his voice and handling his issues with by causing massive conflict. So I would expect that adults would be able to control themselves in the same exact manner. Deal with your own feelings of insecurity. That's number 7. Deal with low insecurity and deal with your past hurts. Sometimes when you get those feelings of anger, really, the feeling of anger is stemming from how you feel about you. So someone could say something, they didn't mean to hurt your feeling, they didn't mean to, say something that aggravated you or whatever the case may be. But whatever they said or did, just understand that your feeling of anger might really come from the way that you feel about yourself and the insecurities and the past hurts that you need to deal with. So just make a declaration that you're going to deal with your own insecurities and your past hurts so that they don't creep up into new situations in your future. Number 8, this one is my favorite. Do not say things you can't take back. Someone once told me a long time ago, go onto a rooftop with a pillowcase full of feathers and unleash it into the wind. And now try to retrieve every feather that you unleashed. That's the same way with words that you can't take back. If you get into a dispute with someone, a discrepancy with someone, an argument with someone, don't say things you can't take back. Don't say things just to hurt a person or just to cut them at the knees or to do something to hurt them as bad as you feel they hurt you. Excuse me. Deal with it in a calm manner. Those hurtful words are hurtful and they last long after the argument is over. Unfortunately, people don't forget words that hurt them. So be very, very mindful of what you say to someone in the middle of an argument, because those are things you can't take back and they could do much damage to a relationship, irreparable damage to a relationship that you can't repair in the future. 9 is have an outlet for stress. The one thing that happens when you're angry is a fight or flight reflex kicks in and your adrenaline levels boost up at least 10 times. What you want to do is have an outlet for stress. Find some time to exercise, do yoga, take a walk, take a jog, take your kids out. Just do something that's going to give you an outlet for stress so that little things that wouldn't necessarily bother you, now they're beginning to agitate you because you don't have an outlet for your stress. Find some things to do and find something that works for you, a spiritual meditation, prayer time, whatever works for you. Find that and utilize that. The last one is 10, agree to disagree. This works especially in relationships. A lot of times in conflict, you'll go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it can actually turn into an argument when really it's just a matter of a difference of opinion. Allow someone to have their opinion and you have yours, and then just agree that we don't agree on this subject, and maybe one day one of us may change our minds, but right now this is where we both stand, this is where we're at, and kind of this is where it's going to be. But just agree to disagree and don't keep the argument lingering on longer than it needs to. Again, these are 10 tips to help you to deal with your anger. If you have any questions, comments, or issues with anything that I've said, you can just post a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer any of them for you. Again, Oshun Love, www.universallovetherapies.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.